Should libertarians dive headfirst into the culture wars? Yeah, let's talk about that.
Instead of focusing on winning arguments, we're teaching the basic fundamentals of sales and marketing and how we can use them to win in the world of politics, teaching you how to meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. Welcome to the Brian Nichols Show.
Well, happy Wednesday there, folks. Brian Nichols here on the Brian Nichols Show, and thank you for joining us on, of course, another fun-filled episode. I am, as always, your humble host, joining you live from our Stratus IP studios here in lovely Eastern Indiana. Don't let cyber attacks or outdated business technology put your company at risk. Learn more at briannicholsshow.com/Stratus IP. Yes, the question, should libertarians dive headfirst into the culture war? Because, it is, in fact, the dreaded culture war. And libertarians, we don't like to talk about it, but it is, in fact, on everyone else's mind. The entire concept of the culture war is one that we libertarians have a hard time pinning down because, well, it's hard to define what is and isn't culture, and it's even harder to decide whether or not we should try and influence it. And I know that politics can be intense, and it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on, but it's crucial that we as libertarians participate in cultural conversations and work on building a culture of our own. First of all, think of how culture plays a huge role in shaping people's beliefs and values. Think about how much influence the media, the entertainment industry, the social media has on shaping public opinion. By joining the cultural conversation, we can help shape the narrative and present a libertarian perspective on different issues. Remember, we want to set narratives, not respond to them. By increasing our public presence in the cultural conversation, we can be more effective advocates for libertarian values. Also, it's important to remember that not everyone will be on the same page when it comes to understanding and accepting libertarian ideas. And that's why we need to do what? Meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. What are they interested in? What are they passionate about? What are their values? What are the things that they care about most? You want to find out what matters most to them and then build on that. By actively listening and being open to feedback, we can build trust and understanding with people that will lead to more support for our values. It's also worth mentioning that the culture war isn't just about promoting our ideas, but also about defending our values and principles against those who seek to undermine them. So it's important to push back against the mainstream culture that sets false narratives by setting narratives of our own. By actively engaging in cultural conversations, we can challenge these ideas and present libertarian values as viable alternatives. No longer will libertarians need to start each conversation with, actually, when responding to some wacky narrative placed into the cultural consciousness by the mainstream. We can present our own new narratives and ideas as alternatives rather than reacting. And I get it. The culture war isn't necessarily something that we want to get involved in. We're busy enough with our day jobs, raising families, so on and so forth. But the culture war is happening whether we like it or not. And as libertarians, if we want to see a world where freedom is valued over government control and coercion, then we need to participate in that conversation and present our ideas as an alternative. The culture war is a battle for hearts and minds. It's about the narratives we tell each other and how those narratives are interpreted by others. The powers that be want to control how we interpret reality, but they can only do so much when they're forced to compete against other outlets that are telling a different story. So, in summary, yes, diving into the culture war, actively participating in cultural conversations, and in fact, building a culture of our own is crucial for the growth of success in the greater libertarian movement. Because let's be real, we just can't sit back and let other people define the terms of debate. We have to be active in the culture war, or else we'll get stuck playing defense against those who seek to oppress us. By shaping the narrative and promoting our values and principles, we can reach a wider audience, and ultimately that'll lead to more support for libertarian ideas. So let's be active and engaged in the cultural arena, meet people where they're at, and work towards building a strong and vibrant libertarian culture. All right, folks, if you are willing and able to join me on this mission and joining us here in the cultural conversation, well, please first and foremost, go ahead and give today's episode a share. When you do, please tag yours truly at B Nichols Liberty. Also, please go ahead and help support the program. There's a couple different ways. One way, it's free. It requires $0 on your part, just literally 30 seconds of your time. That's head over to give us a quick 5-star rating and review. You can do so over on briannicholsshow.com/reviews, or you can find the link right there at the top of the homepage. 5 stars. Tell us why you listen to the program. What value do you get when you listen to the Brian Nichols Show 5 days a week? Is it about the sales and marketing tips, or is it about telling the stories you hear from folks who join the program about what's working or what challenges they've faced? I want to hear about it, and so do other folks out there. So please, if you're willing and able, 5-star review, that would be very, very appreciated. Number 2, you want to go ahead, maybe spend a little bit of a hard-earned dollars, but also get something in return. Oh, we have a great option for you. We have our Brian Nichols Show shop, which is partnered with Proud Libertarian, and we have everything's in there from hats, snapbacks, shirts, sweaters, all that in between. I'm actually rocking today. Our Good Ideas Don't Require Force snapback. You can grab that. Plus, you can grab our Good Ideas Don't Require Force hoodie. We have, now that's what I call tyranny, Klaus Schwab shirt. We have our Magic Money Tree shirt, yes, as well as a bunch of other shirts, signs, yard signs, you name it, we have it over there. And do yourself a favor. Use code TBNS at checkout for 10% off. The other way you can support the show is literally just by supporting the show. And we are looking to get some dollars here as we start 2023. We have some big goals here. If you want to help be a part of that, well, you can go ahead and give us either one-time donation over at briannicholsshow.com/support, or you can become an audience insider. Support us at $1.99 a month, and I'll go ahead and send you a free something in the mail there. Just please head over to briannicholsshow.com/support, and each and every little bit greatly helps us here at the show, because it allows us to have amazing guests on the show. Like yesterday, we had Scott Bayer. He returned to the show from Market Urbanism, talking about all things in a liberty approach to helping improve our cities. So having guests like Scott on, or guests like Jen Jacobson from Beloved Cheesecakes, telling her story about fighting back against government tyranny last week. So yes, we really appreciate the love and support, but also the financial support from you folks out there. So one more time, briannicholsshow.com/support. Every little bit counts, and I really appreciate it. So other than that, folks, by the way, I will include yesterday's episode with Scott. So if you did not get a chance to check that out, go ahead. If you're joining us here on YouTube, I'll include that right here. Otherwise, yeah, I did mention, we're on YouTube video version of the show. If you're here on YouTube or Rumble or Odyssey, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and little notification bell so you don't miss a single time we go live. And if you're joining us over on the audio version of the show, which I know 99%-ish of you are, in fact, well, yes, we do have the video version of the show, so go check that out. But also go to briannicholsshow.com or click the artwork in your podcast catcher to bring you over to today's show notes, where you can find today's transcript, plus any links we mentioned, and of course, all 660 plus other episodes of the Brian Nichols Show. But with that being said, it's Brian Nichols signing off here on the Brian Nichols Show. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Nichols Show. Find more episodes at briannicholsshow.com.